Hi, today I'm going to start a series of lectures on kidney function test. Before that, I will review about structure and function of kidney and urine formation. So, we have two kidneys. Those kidneys are present after this rib cage on either side of the spine. The size of the kidney is equal to our fist size. So, kidney has outer region called as cortex or shell, and we are in inner medulla regions. So basically, uh, whatever function a kidney is performing, this kidney is performing this filtration function. So there are numerous filtration units called as nephrons. So nephrons are structural and functional units of the kidney, and those nephrons they go from cortex to the medulla region. So we have two kidneys, and from these kidney ureters, ureters take the urine to the urinary bladder, and ultimately we are passing that urine. So, what is the function of the kidney? So, kidneys have some important functions to perform. Suppose maintenance of homeostasis. What is homeostasis? Homeostasis maintenance of steady state. So our body is composed of millions of cells. So our body is housing those cells. It is providing proper environment for the growth, division, and sustenance of those cells. For any biological thing to sustain, it should be having a window of pH. pH is hydrogen ion concentration. So we continuously take different foods. Some of the foods are acidic, some are basic. So if there is not any system which regulates internal pH of our blood, of our cellular systems, so that will be very much problematic for the life. So body has developed a unique system like kidneys. They maintain the proper hydrogen ion concentration. Let us discuss what will happen if hydrogen ion concentration is increased. As we very well understand, structure of anything, any protein or hormone is responsible for its function. So how that structure is assumed by the protein? Structure is assumed because there is interaction between different groups, and there is some electrostatic interaction, hydrophobic interaction. Then ultimately, a three-dimensional structure of the protein is formed. That three-dimensional structure of the protein gives rise to particular function. So, if hydrogen ion concentration changes, it can alter the structure and it can alter the function of proteins, of hormones, and other biomolecules. So, our kidney is our kidneys are assigned with the role of maintaining homeostasis, like maintaining proper pH, maintaining proper ion concentration. Okay, or in maintaining the proper ion concentration, it regulates the blood volume, because of osmolality. These ions they are uh, capable of attracting water. So blood volume goes up if lot of salt is kept in our body. So kidneys they regulate how much salt need to be excreted and how much salt need to be retained in our body. As kidneys are the filtration units, so as a perfect filtration unit, they regulate which waste products need to be eliminated, excreted from the body, and which of the important components like glucose, sodium, and other things, those need to be retained, amino acids, etc. So kidneys retain vital components, important components of our body. Kidneys also perform some of the hormonal functions. They produce one important hormone called as erythropoietin. This erythropoietin it is responsible for hemoglobin formation, and that hemoglobin helps in is important that hemoglobin is important component of RBCs, and hemoglobin helps in oxygen transport. So they also help us in erythropoiesis, production of RBCs. You might have heard, if any person, you might have seen from neighborhood or any other places, from the medical uh, hospitals or any other places. If a person is having any kidney problem, ultimately he also develops blood count. His blood count goes down. The link is this hormone, erythropoietin. Then kidneys also produce active form of vitamin D, calcitriol, vitamin D3. It is also called 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol. So the final hydroxylation takes place by the enzymes which are produced by the kidney. So kidneys also helps in calcitriol production, and so they help in bone mineralization also. Kidneys also help in the production of renin. Renin, this hormone renin, it is a proteolytic hormone. It helps in the proteolysis of angiotensin second, and angiotensin second ultimately helps in aldosterone production, and aldosterone helps in sodium reabsorption in the nephron. So ultimately, if sodium is reabsorbed, so it maintains the blood volume also. So these are the regulative functions of the kidney. As we have discussed, kidneys react as a filtration unit. So basic unit of the kidney, structural or functional unit of the kidney, is a nephron. If we understand how nephron is functioning, we will understand how our kidneys are functioning. So nephron is basically composed of, we have this structure called as Bowman's capsule. It's a cup-like structure, and into this cup of each nephron goes afferent arterioles, and these afferent arterioles, they form a bunch or tuft of capillaries called as glomerulus, and ultimately afferent arteriole comes from there. Okay, so whichever blood, unfiltered blood, comes through afferent arteriole, and here that blood passes directly into the nephron structure. There are indentations, there are small pores. Through these pores, most of the components whose molecular weight is lesser than 70,000 Daltons, that compound will pass into the nephron. Ultimately, at proximal convoluted tubules, loop of Henle, we are having this loop of Henle, descending and ascending loop of Henle, then distal convoluted tubules, and then collecting ducts. Different things are excreted, or some of the things are reabsorbed. Some of the things which are needed for our body, those things like water, sodium, those things need to be reabsorbed. So ultimately, this is how urine is produced in our kidneys, and each kidney is having 1.2 million nephrons. Okay, so this nephron, it is situated, it lies in the cortex, outer region of the kidney, like this outer shell of the kidney. We are having this outer shell or cortex, and then inner medulla. So this nephron, it goes from cortex to medulla, then it again enters into the cortex. So ultimately, each and every nephron, it delivers its final urine into the collecting ducts, and ultimately that goes to our ureters, and that urine is passed. So let us briefly discuss what the events are happening, how nephron is capable of doing it per minute. About 1200 ml of blood passes through kidneys, and that will be almost 650 ml of plasma, as 55% of the blood is plasma. So that blood plasma goes into our kidneys. From this, 120 to 120 ml is filtered per minute by kidney, and it is referred as glomerular filtration rate. The rate at which glomerulus, this part, it filters the blood, that is glomerular filtration rate. It is 120 to 125 ml. If we will calculate how much volume it will be for 24 hours, that will come 175 to 180 liters. What does that mean? That means blood is continuously flowing. It is filtered multiple times, passed through our nephrons to get this much amount of filtrate GFR, filtrate volume, 175 ml. Most of us are 70 or 80 kgs. So this volume is bigger. This volume is 175 to 180. What does that mean? That means multiple times blood goes into our kidney and it is being filtered. Out of this filtrate, 175 to 180, 1.5 liter is excreted per day in the form of urine, and rest of it is reabsorbed. Water, minerals, those are reabsorbed. So 99% of the glomerular filtrate is reabsorbed by the kidney. So this is basically how urine is formed in our kidneys. So as kidneys are important organs, they perform important life-saving functions. So if there is any problem in our kidneys, for that we have some of the tests called as renal function tests or kidney function tests. So renal function tests are the tests which help us in assessing the function of our kidneys. Okay, so some of the tests like glomerular filtration tests, these tests are clearness tests. How things are cleared, how our blood or plasma is cleared from different components, from different things, like we are having inulin clearance test, urea clearance test, creatine clearance test. So how these things are cleared from our blood during filtration, how these things are easily cleared from our system, from our blood. So this is glomerular function test. They tell us how our different glomerulus are functioning, how many nephrons are functioning, whether nephrons are functioning okay or not, whether at this glomerulus there is uh, whether this filtrate is formed optimally or not. So these glomerular function tests or clearance tests, they tell what is happening at the glomerulus. Then we have another test called as tubular reabsorption. In tubular reabsorption, as I told, 175 to 180 liters glomerular filtrate is produced per day, but 1.5 ml, 1.5 liters of urine is produced per day. So many things are reabsorbed, like water is reabsorbed, sodium ions are reabsorbed, and glucose is reabsorbed passively or actively. Passively, they go from higher concentration to the lower concentration, they are reabsorbed, or our body invest energy to reabsorb such things. So we are having tubular reabsorption tests like urine concentration and dilution tests, urine acidification tests. They assess tubular reabsorption function of our kidney. Suppose if there is any scarcity, if there is any uh, dearth of water, what our body will do? It will pass urine in less, it will pass less volume of the urine, and in that less volume, more and more waste products will be there. Okay, Waste product, where from these waste products come? Our cells, which are housed in our body, they are metabolically active. They are producing uric acid. They are producing like urea, creatine, and those waste products need to be eliminated. So uh, we are having some tests called as tubular reabsorption test, urine concentration test, and dilution test. Similarly, we have other tests like analysis of blood or serum. We can assess in a particular person how much urea is there in the blood. If it is high, that will be problematic. How much creatine is there? Whether proteins are optimally present here or not, like we are having human serum albumin. If some person is having any problem in the kidney, like he will pass protein, he will pass albumin in the urine, so in the blood there will be less albumin. Similarly, some of the electrolytes, their concentration in the blood, sodium level, potassium level, chlorine level, they are also helpful in assessing kidney function. And ultimately, final product of the this process is the urine. So we can also go for routine urine examination for pH. How much pH is there? Volume. What is the volume of the urine? How much urine is produced by a person? 24 hours. Specific gravity of that urine, osmolality of the urine, proteins, whether there are some proteins present in the urine or not. If there are proteins present in the urine, that is proteinuria, and it is very dangerous situation. Glucose, like somebody is having diabetes, so that particular person will be having glucose in urine, that's called glucosuria. So these tests help us in assessing the renal or kidney function. We will talk more about each and every test in subsequent lectures. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Thank you.